Straight ahead on Hawkeye Sports Report, the football team takes one on the chin to Penn State. How will they respond as they prepare for life on the road? Hear from coaches and players just ahead. And basketball fever is back in Iowa City following last weekend's Black and Gold Blowout. And what a scene it was in Carver. We'll have all the highlights from the night coming up. And the field hockey team has a chance to earn the share of the Big Ten title on their home turf this weekend. Hear their thoughts heading into their matchups with Michigan and Northwestern right around the corner on another edition of Hawkeye Sports Report. Welcome to another week of Hawkeye Sports Report. It was quite the sight once again for Black and Gold Spirit Night in Kinnick Stadium Saturday, but Penn State and their NASCAR offense took every ounce of spirit out of the sellout crowd early, and they did not look back. The football team now has the task of hitting the road for 3 of their next 4 games, starting this weekend with Northwestern.
Every time you play them, there's a different set of challenges, it seems, and this year it's a little bit different with you got a guy like number 5 who can really do some things, and then Calder can hurt you playing quarterback. He can hurt you playing receiver. So, and you're not quite sure where he's going to be. So it really makes it, it just adds to what you're trying to do preparation-wise, because they have morphed a package for him that it's been pretty good, pretty productive for him, and you got to defend a lot of different things now. But that's kind of always the case. It's just a little different package maybe than what we've seen before.
Yes, he's a weapon for them. I believe that every team has a weapon, and you just got to make sure during your game plan you just got to stop that weapon. You got to game plan against him, and he's a great player. He did a lot of good things for him, but overall Northwestern is a great team. So we just got to make sure we watch for him and focus on the things that we need to focus on.
What do you do to turn the page?
Well, yeah, obviously it's a tough loss, but the way we see it, you lose big, you lose small, you win big, you win small. A win's a win, a loss is a loss, and you have a certain amount of time to get rid of that, and we're on to the next opponent at this point.
You flushed it already?
Yeah, obviously it was a tough game, and Sunday was a tough day watching it on film, but the bottom line is we got 5 more tough opponents, and we got to get ready for this next one.
What did you learn from the film?
Well, just that we didn't play well enough in any phase, offense, defense, special teams, to win that game. Give a lot of credit to them, but a lot of credit was just not executing.
We now welcome in Hawkeye Radio Network's Rob Brooks. Rob, Penn State controlled that game in every aspect on Saturday. Tough to watch, but the biggest thing is the injury bug bit, and it bit hard.
Yeah, Penn State did what they needed to do as a road team, come in and control the tempo right from the start, give them credit. But then, of course, Iowa just devastating in the first quarter from an injury standpoint, especially along that offensive line. Brandon Sheriff and also Andrew Donnell done for the year. Now it's up to Nolan McMillan, Austin Blythe, good to have him back in the mix. And then also Connor Buffelli and Walsh, they could contribute as well. So a little bit thin across that offensive line, but still some players for Brian Ferentz and company to work with. And then I think the running back situation is going to be key this weekend as well. A healthier Mark Weissman and also Damon Bullock has been cleared to play. Good to get him on the field.
If they do get on the field, you've got to think that plays into Iowa's hands well. They can have a running threat again.
Yeah, I think Iowa's going to have to run the ball well against Northwestern. We know what Weissman can do, but also, and it seems like a long time ago, but Damon Bullock was really off to a terrific start before he got injured against UNI. So if he can get back in the fold, I think that's that 1-2 punch Iowa fans have been looking for.
Speaking of the Iowa fans, a big question everybody's wondering, how will this team respond? And they have to bounce back this week.
Yeah, thankfully under the Kirk Ferentz era, we haven't had to talk much about lopsided losses. But if you go into the history books, and Kirk Ferentz mentioned this game earlier this week, 2004 against Arizona State down at Sun Devil Stadium, lost 44-7. That team ended up going 10-2. And then in 2005, a tough loss to Ohio State, 31-6. That Hawkeye team won the next 3, as they did in 2007 after losing at Purdue 31-6. So typically Iowa, if they do have a tough loss, they have that bounce back factor.
Now they go up against Northwestern this weekend, and they are always a pesky offense. 2 good quarterbacks this year, and a running back in Venrick Mark that we're going to hear a lot of from Saturday. Yeah,
the Big Ten certainly has heard that name several times already this year. Venrick Mark is averaging 183 all-purpose yards so far this year, has 9 touchdowns, utilize a 2-quarterback system. Kane Coulter, of course, we know what he can do. Yep. Another big name across the conference. And then also Demetrius Fields is their leading receiver with 25 catches. He has started 35 games for Northwestern, but this isn't a Northwestern team that throws the ball all over the field. They have actually run for more yards than they have passed for.
Well, hopefully that plays into the hands of Iowa's defense. Let's talk about, is this a bigger game for Iowa's defense or Iowa's offense?
Well, I think anytime you play Northwestern, you have to have in the back of your mind that you have got to score points. This isn't going to be a 13-10 or 14-13 type of ball game. Northwestern plays in the high 20s and beyond. So you have to score. So I think that situation is for the Iowa offense. If they have to put points on the board, I think that's the feeling you have to go into this game.
All right, Rob will be on the sidelines on Saturday. That game kicks off at 11 a.m. on ESPN2. Rob, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Let's now check out this week's Play of the Week.
Our first play of the week comes from field hockey. Natalie Cafone had a big weekend, and watch her as she takes this one and hammers it in from a tough angle during Iowa's rout of Ball State. Now to the basketball floor in the Black and Gold Blowout Slam Dunk Contest. First, it's Gabe Olashaney going behind the back and throwing it down. But he was topped by Eric May, Chris Rickert with the header, and May with the impressive jam. Those are the Hawkeye Sports Report Plays of the Week.
Over the last couple of weeks, we've seen at both men's and women's basketball media day that there is plenty of buzz around both programs heading into the season. The Black and Gold Blowout was held this past Friday night, and it was a sight never seen before in Carver Hawkeye Arena. Take a look for yourself.
I think just being out there with my sisters, it was great. I mean, those two are close in age, and I've never really gotten to be a part of anything with them besides just a whole family thing. But it meant a lot, and for my first time being out in there on the court in front of a crowd, it was meaningful to have some family members out there with me.
The managers helped me practice this morning shooting off the rack and kind of getting in a rhythm that way, so it went well.
You got bragging rights over the men's team now. Is that good?
I mean, a little bit, but Josh was kind of off, so I kind of got lucky.
You know, definitely since it's on the clock, you want guys who are going to make multiple dunks, you know, some original stuff, and you know, also somebody's going to play to the crowd a little bit. You know, something like this, you got to get the crowd into it.
It took a couple of tries, but it's just two senior, you know, put the senior brains together, figured it out.
That was creative, man. You got to give it 10 on that one. There were two guys working together. I was surprised, though, that ball that flew back here, that was the first ball that Luke had actually passed off. I thought he was going to shoot it.
We have the best fans ever. Just coming out here, just, you know, see us scrimmage and have us introductions on the stage. You know, it's pretty special to be in a place like Iowa.
Well, it was a lot of fun, and it was more hype than substance. You know, we didn't get a lot out of that scrimmage, but we've already practiced for 3 hours today. The team had an hour weightlifting session today, so they were a little tired, and I think it showed out there. But, you know, it was just fun to get out in the court, wearing the uniforms, seeing the team out there again, and kind of letting them get over those first game jitters a little bit with so many great Hawkeye fans here.
The fans are definitely excited, and it's awesome having this fan support. It's unlike anything. That's one of the reasons I wanted to come here. I mean, the fans are just amazing, and I know they'll be behind us the whole season and be cheering us on here in Carver and on road games. I know they're going to travel well too.
I was thrilled. I know how much work went into it, and when you put something together like this and choreograph it the way, you know, Lisa Pearson and Rick Klatt did, you know, you want it to move quickly and you want it to be fan friendly. This is an opportunity for us as a program to connect with our fans.
Yeah, it was. I was really excited. I've been asking Coach since I was a freshman, can we have one? He just told me it was up to us. Like, you know what I'm saying, we got to start winning. So now that we got a little buzz around the program, we can have things like this, and hopefully we don't spoil it and we come out and play the way we're supposed to this year.
Both the men's and women's teams will open up their seasons with exhibition matchups against Quincy College in just a couple of weeks on November 4th. Last spring, the baseball team finished just under the 500 mark at 23-27. After landing another top recruiting class in the Big Ten, they've been busy working towards a 2013 season this fall. Head coach Jack Dahm recently sat down with us to talk about the progress of the team.
We're excited. We've gotten a lot accomplished this fall. We really slowed things down this fall and really did a lot of teaching the first week to 2 weeks. And it probably slowed us up a little bit, but I think it really helped our young guys and refreshed our older guys on the system. And we've had an outstanding last couple of weeks. So, you know, we've played 4 games. We went 3-1. Our pitching, we feel like, is going to be our strength of our ball club this year. And our pitchers have been throwing very well, especially Andrew Hansey has made a big jump for us. So our points of emphasis have really been from a defensive standpoint. We feel like if we're going to be a championship type of team, we need to improve our interior defense in the infield. You know, we lost Chet Zize, who was a great defensive third baseman, but Nick Day has made a ton of progress over there. Jake Yasnich over the last couple of weeks is really getting more comfortable at shortstop. Jake Mangler's returning, so we actually have 2 returners in the middle, which is very important. I think our big question is what we're going to do at first base. We got Brian Nabalski, Blake Hickman, a freshman, Trevor Kenyon, some guys over there, and we could still move Taylor Kaufman over there. But the defensive part has been a big key. Also, we have a coaching change. Coach Brownlee became the head coach at Western Illinois, so we brought Zach Dillon in from Baylor. Zach's very familiar with our program and with our players, being a volunteer coach for 2 years, and then being back at Baylor for a year. You know, we're getting our guys to drive the ball a little bit more and learning to stay behind the baseball. So, you know, those are the 2 big things, defensively and then also just a slight offensive approach change. And one of the things that we talked about at the end of the year was gaining some momentum. And at the end of last year, you know, we beat Purdue 2 out of 3. We beat Creighton at Ameritrade Stadium. Got a little momentum heading into the summer, and I thought our guys did a great job in the summertime of getting better. So we're continuing that momentum through fall baseball into the winter off season. And one of the big changes for us is we're going to be able to get a lot done this winter with the new indoor football facility. We get 2 hours a week to be able to work with our players. So we want to continue to take the momentum that we've gained over the last couple of weeks in fall ball into the off season from an offensive standpoint and also defensively.
Making progress. Certainly when you walk in and try to create a new culture for the athletes, you want to be part of what exists for Iowa and the school, but also you certainly want to move things your direction in the sense of how to approach races and approach competition and practice. And that's something we're definitely trying to move towards. A home race, I think, is always exciting. Regatta's kind of a funny deal because the fall racing, it's a chance to go right through the middle of campus. It's rare that we have 2 race courses, one here and one about 15 miles away at Lake McBride. And so in the fall, we're able to literally go 4 kilometers right through campus and finish right by the IMU. So I think it's fun for people to be able to get out and see what we do. It's pretty rare that people know what our sport entails. We know that it's a long year, and so in the fall, it's not the primary season, but hopefully it's a measuring point for the girls to show, student athletes to show that we've made progress. We've seen it inside. We'd like to show it outside as well. So we certainly have Wisconsin, Minnesota, so 2 Big Ten teams. So almost half the teams in the Big Ten that have rowing will be here. And we'd like to show some progress against those guys. Wisconsin was, I think, top 10 in the country last year. So we know we have a ways to go to get to that level. We were, I think, 7th in the Big Ten out of 7. So I think we want to nudge our way up. But again, if kind of day to day we're getting better, I think that does that. Specifically for fans to come out and see, I think just understand how hard these girls work. I mean, every sport, I think, says that. If you look at what we do, it is day after day, year-round, pounding miles or kilometers. It's some of the swimming or running, in that it's you know, you race 6-7 minutes and you put in, I think it's about 100 minutes for every 1 minute you race, even in the fall. So it's a lot of work behind it, and I think it's fun for people to realize how big the sport's growing and how hard the girls are working and how much fun hopefully they're having. Our sport it's a sport where people can really learn how to row in college. Half the Olympic 8 learned how to row, and so for people to come out and see that this is something that really, for women, it's almost the women's version of football. We carry a roster size 85 to 100. It's enormous sport, enormous resources, and it's a sport where you really can start late. It's not like soccer where you start when you're 5 and really you kind of know by 15 if you're good or not. Ours may be people who are starting late bloomers and can be really good, and we hope they can see the sport and really fall in love with the outdoor environment. It's beautiful conditions. We were out the other day. It was this red sunset that was absolutely gorgeous, 60 degrees. A little colder this Sunday, but I think it's a great environment for people to do something that's outdoors and really great for fitness and for athletics.
Natalie Cafone had a busy weekend in helping the Hawkeyes to a pair of field hockey wins. Cafone scored 3 goals and had 2 assists as the Hawks defeated Kent State and Ball State. Natalie Cafone, a freshman from Fairfield, New Jersey, this week's Hawkeye Sports Report Player of the Week.
And finally, let's give you an update on what's ahead this weekend in Hawkeye athletics. The team to watch this weekend will be the 12th ranked field hockey team. They're in the midst of a long stretch of home games at Grant Field. They won both games this past weekend over Kent State and Ball State, outscoring them 9-1. This weekend they have a chance to capture a share or win the Big Ten title outright, with home matchups against 14th ranked Michigan on Friday at 2 p.m. and 8th ranked Northwestern Sunday at noon. They are hoping for big crowds at each.
And now we're in that middle part of that end of the season, and I just think again they're going to be ready to go. There's nothing like it. I mean, Michigan and Iowa, and we are still in the hunt for a Big Ten Conference championship. We're tied for first place, so we would love to have Grant Field packed, and Friday, if not Friday, Sunday. But if you get here both games, it's even bonus.
I think it's great, especially not having the sport of field hockey in Iowa. We get a great fan base, and it's just really exciting. Pumps us all up for the game, so it's awesome.
The game on Friday can be seen live on the Big Ten Network. Plenty more action in Iowa City this weekend as well. The soccer team will host Wisconsin at 1 p.m. Saturday, and volleyball will also be in action Saturday against Ohio State at 7 p.m. Men's tennis will be on the road in Evanston on Friday and Saturday and Sunday as they take part in the Northwestern Invitational. And Mark Hankins' men's golf team will head to the Baylor Intercollegiate. Stephen Ime and Brian Bullington will look to follow up their top 35 finishes from the past weekend at the U.S. Collegiate Championships. The Baylor Intercollegiate will take place Monday and Tuesday in Dallas. Hawkeye fans will also have a chance to take a look at new head coach Steve Pritzker's rowing team on Sunday. They host their only home meet of the fall. That will be going on all day long along the Iowa River by the P. Sue Beckwith Boathouse, so be sure to go out and cheer them on. And both cross-country teams will compete in the Big Ten Championships over the weekend. Those will take place in East Lansing, Michigan. Best of luck to everyone competing in those races. And finally, the football team will head to Evanston, Illinois to take on Northwestern. The Wildcats have given the Hawks fits over the past few years. The game will kick off at 11 a.m. and can be seen on ESPN2. Be sure to check back into HawkeyeSports.com over the weekend for complete coverage of everything Hawkeye sports. Best of luck to everyone in action, and go Hawks!